Hi, my name is Jay Oza, and I want to talk to you about a question that I often get asked when I'm at a party or an event. And the question has to do with public speaking. Because whenever I tell them, like, I teach, mentor, coach, and write about public speaking, and I also record a lot of public speeches, they want to know what is the best way to become a good public speaker. And it's not an easy question to answer because there are a lot of things that I have to know before I can even answer that. First, I need to know whether is it a hobby or is it for work? And most of the time, it is work related. People want to advance their career, get promoted, and they think that by being a good public speaker will enhance their career. The next question I ask is, I said, what is the culture like at your company? I mean, like, what would you say? Is 90% adequate, good, excellent, great? When I say great, I mean, I'm talking about Steve Jobs level. Good, like Marissa Mayer level, maybe. And adequate, like most of the people who basically just put some PowerPoints together and get through their presentation without, choking or anything. And that's adequate. As long as they can finish it in a corporate environment, that makes you adequate. And he's basically said that most people probably would be considered adequate, and there are managers out there who are really good. So I said, okay. I said, here are some of the things I would recommend. One is that if you want to do it at your uh, at leisure, at your own time, then you can certainly take this free course from Coursera, Introduction to Public Speaking. I said, this is a college level course. It's done by an excellent instructor named Dr. Matt McGarity. It's a 10-week course, and it's free. But I said, I should tell you one thing. It's free from a cost perspective, but it's not free as far as the effort is concerned. And I said that I found that to do a good job, especially when you're taking it for the first time, you're going to have to spend between 100 to 150 hours. So whatever your billable rate is, just multiply that by 100 at the minimum, and that'll give you what the true cost is for this course. And I found that this cost is too high since very few people ever finish this course. I said, but the other option you have is to take one of these cram courses that are offered by a lot of different outfits. It's a 3-day course. They can charge starting around $2,500, and then when you add up the travel and expense and the time lost from work, the cost could easily go up to $5,000. So I said that's another option. But I said after doing all this thing, because I've taken the cram courses, they didn't work for me. And the Coursera course is just too time consuming for people that are professional. And I've seen evidence that very few people actually finish this course. So I said, I've come up with a third approach now, which I think probably is a better and maybe the best approach for people like yourself who are, who's working and doesn't have a lot of time, is to first find a high stakes speech that you have to give. By high stakes, I mean you're either going to win something or lose something. This can't be a speech that doesn't affect you in any way, whether you do a good job or a bad job. This is a speech where if you do a good job, you get noticed. If you do a bad job, it could hurt your career. It could hurt your promotion in that company. Maybe they'll think that you're not a good leadership. You don't have good leadership skills because you can't speak well, effectively. So I said, first you got to find a high stakes speech. Second thing is to find a good coach. And I said that is the best way to learn because the coach is going to simplify a lot of things and you don't have to go through things that you're not going to need for that specific speech. And people always ask me, well, how can you help me? And I typically don't give any cost because it's very hard to give cost like that. And it's not really about the cost. I need to know whether this is going to help them. So I said, look, since you're asking me, here's what I usually do. I tell people if they're interested in working with me that the first thing they have to do is record a 3-minute video like they're giving a speech to the audience. That'll tell me a lot. And answer 5 questions such as who's the audience? What are the stakes here? What is your overall objective? What did you like about your recording? What would you like to improve? And then I'll give you my feedback. And if you think that you want to work with me, we can do a quick half-hour session where you can find out what exactly is needed here for you to get to the level where you can win, and then we can figure out what the cost would be. But that's how I work. And but I said, whether you come to me or not, but here's the fact. If you have to give a high stakes speech, and you should be if you want to get ahead in your career, you're going to have to give a high stakes speech sooner or later. Get that, find, be aggressive in first getting that speech. There's no point in taking a course and then looking for high stakes speech. It doesn't work like that. Get the high stakes speech, find a high stakes speech to give, and then start looking for coach you can work with. And that's the approach I think would work for most of the people that I meet. And even if you're watching it, if you fall into that category where you're busy at work and you want to give a high stakes speech, believe me, that's the best investment you're ever going to make, because if you just wing it, it's going to be a disaster. It could hurt your career. And the other thing I always see people do is they talk to their colleagues or friend, which is they're not experts in this. They'll tell you what you want to know. Or the worst is you might be a good speaker and they might pick on things that are not that important. So you want to be very careful. You really need to work with a coach, because a coach is there to produce results, not to make you feel good. Okay, let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.